Okay, it's tech time. We're going to fire up the computers and take a look at how boomers are dealing with technology.
Sometimes not so well, to be honest.
Right.
We have difficulty keeping up. That's why we have kids and grandkids to help us. And it's also why we have Regina.
Help us.
Hi, I'm Regina Miller with Geek and Pink Computer Repair, and today we're talking about the difference between Android and Apple smartphones and why you would choose one over the other. This is a question that we get asked many times from people that are either going into their first smartphone or are thinking about replacing one phone and switching to another platform. One of the main differences between Android and iPhone are Android can be on a variety of different manufactured phones, so manufacturers aren't specific to the device like what Apple is. On an iPhone, that's only manufactured by Apple. The other key difference is how you acquire the apps. On iPhones, you can only get the apps through iTunes. So the programs and the apps that you get are highly vetted and are considered safe for the most part. There can be some that may not be as robust as what you'd expect, but if you read the reviews, overall you can expect that the apps are going to perform as you expect. Where Android, on the other hand, you can get the apps through the Google Play Store, and they have gotten better over the years about vetting the apps that they make available on there. But while there's a much broader array of apps available, they don't go through quite as much scrutiny as what they do at this point on iTunes, although that's gotten better over the years. One thing that I tell people to consider on choosing between the two are how much configuration and personalization do you want to do on the phone. On an Apple, pretty much you do what Apple says you're going to do, end of story. For some people, that's exactly what they want. They want to be able to make phone calls, text, and do some key apps like Facebook and some other things, and that's about it. On a Samsung, you can customize things to a greater extent. So if you are someone who likes to configure a lot of the things that you do with it, then Android may be the one for you. If you want to be able to turn it on, plug in your information and go, and don't plan on making a lot of changes and don't really want to push the technology to its limits, then Apple iPhone may be the way to go. Another question that we often get is how to choose the plan for your phones. And the number one piece of advice that I have for that is if you haven't shopped in a while and compared the price and the features of different plans, then it's a good idea to revisit that from time to time. So even if you are with AT&T and you want to stay with AT&T, it's still a good idea to call them and say what plans you have available. Same with Sprint, Verizon, and all the other major carriers. There are different trends in the industry, and for a while they really pared down what's available on the amount of data that you get. And now we're seeing things come full circle again, where we're seeing a lot of plans that are not only less expensive, but also have unlimited data. Another thing that we're seeing come full circle is it used to be you'd get your phone, and with the 2-year contract, you'd get the phone at a discounted price. That had disappeared for a long time and is starting to resurface again. And the good thing that has come from that change is many of us were carrying $700 or $800 phones and we didn't realize it because we paid $99 for it when we bought it, because it was subsidized by the cost of the service contract over 2 years. And then all of a sudden that opportunity to get a discounted phone disappeared, and we were suddenly aware that, okay, paying $100 to have my screen replaced is worthwhile because that's better than buying another $700 phone. I am starting to see plans that offer heavily discounted phones again, in some cases free phones with contracts. So once again, as a consumer, it's worthwhile to shop around to see the best technology that you can get for the price. When you're making that choice on which one to get, another thing to consider is the warranty on it and repair options. And the best option there is to consider what the deductible is on a screen break, for example, and compare that to your deductible, the cost of the repair plan, versus just getting one repaired outright. I will say that when you have that warranty on it, it's a good idea to revisit that after your phone has some age on it, because the price of having replacements decreases over time, and then it may not be worthwhile to carry the extra coverage any longer. So in the end, when you're choosing between an Android or an Apple, it really depends on how much configuration you want to do, and if you have a preference on what manufacturer, because of course on the iPhone you can only get an Apple iPhone, but on Android you can pick a variety of different manufacturers. So there are some differences between Apple and Android. Hopefully that helps you make the decision for the smartphone that's best for you. I'm Regina with Boomer TV.